Mohamed Salah
The
now
GOAT.
has more goals in the Premier League than Thierry Henry. And that's a fact. We're not saying that to throw shade. We're not saying that Henry's no good. I stand on my 2 feet and I say Thierry Henry is the best footballer I've ever seen in the Premier League. Still, I would say that personally. However, Salah has now surpassed him. So my question to you and the people at home for this second Hot Topics tonight, Doyle, what does that mean? I'm getting very philosophical tonight. I'm asking the meaning of things. But what does it mean? Yeah.
So what does it mean to say Thierry Henry is better than Mo Salah?
Or the other way around, now that Salah's ahead of him?
For me, Thierry Henry, in the same way that Ronaldinho played the game in a beautiful way, and everybody, if you ask anybody who loves football, says Ronaldinho was one of my favourite players. That's because of the way he played football. Because he was in no way the best at football. He wasn't, lad. He only had a certain amount of time where he was the best for like 4 years. If you look at someone like Mo Salah, he's consistently put up the most incredible stats for like 6, 7, 8 years, like crazy amounts of time, consistency. So it all depends what you value in the game. This is why it's so important to realize like every opinion is just subjectional. It depends what you like. I like to watch footballers that are graceful and elegant on the ball. Why did we like Thiago Alcantara, even though he played 3 or 4 games for us? Because he played the game in the most beautiful way you've ever seen it played, lad. And that's the type of player I like, unfortunately. They're like rare gems. That doesn't mean that Salah isn't one of the greatest players I've ever seen. There's many ways to play our game of football. It's a game. It's a community thing, lad. We all experience the world in different ways and we experience the game in a different way. Mohamed Salah plays the game beautifully. And if you asked a lot of people, they would say he's probably better than Thierry Henry, in their opinion, right? So I don't think you can. It's just subjectional to me. I don't think you can say this
I
or
agree.
that. For me, I just think Thierry Henry looked better on the ball. He just was the most elegant, gracious, gazelle-looking player and scored the most beautiful goals and scored a lot of them as well. So that's it, really. But Mohamed Salah, although he wasn't as graceful, is still one of the most amazing players I've ever watched play football. He is incredible. It's as simple as that, lad.
And the mere fact that we're even daring to compare in a way, right? There's a couple of ways you can look at it, but the way that we're trying to do it is not directly compare the two. All we're putting to the audience and ourselves is, well, now he's overtaken potentially the best player ever in the Premier League. So let's look at that. What does it mean? You say he hasn't had the consistency. I can go through his numbers just to compare them to Mo Salah's. In his first season at Arsenal, 17 goals in the Prem. Second season, 17 goals in the Prem. Third season, 24. Fifth season, 24. Consistency we're seeing now. Sixth season, 30. Seventh season, 25. Eighth season, 27. And in his last season, he only played 17 games but scored 10. Now, what I meant by... He has got consistency. We can't deny that. What I meant by... there's a couple of ways you can look at this is, and I agree perfectly with what you said, it's all subjective. You can focus on the stats and the numbers, the efficiency, the minutes per goals ratio, the trophies won, the golden boots won, the importance of the goals. Obviously, Thierry didn't really score in finals. That's the one thing maybe you could criticize him for. And you can compare all of that. The numbers, they're all there. The stats are there. The stats now show that Mo Salah is above Thierry Henry. But the other way you can look at it is with the eyes. And I think actually that Mo Salah lazily gets almost pigeonholed into being not a very nice to look at footballer. I think that's absolute rubbish.
I agree.
His close self-control, the little drag backs, the stops, the starts, the back heels, the bursting dynamic runs from the touchline towards the center of the pitch. It's a beautiful thing to watch. There's no doubt in my mind. Exactly. The City goal, the Watford goal. How many goals has he scored? I mean, the numbers don't lie. Exactly. A few Watford goals. So there's that as well. It's like, well, when you look at them both play, I mean, can you imagine them both in the same team? That would be a cheat code. But my question to you is, now that he's passed him, is there anything that he can do from here on in, now that he has passed him, to actually overtake Henry in the general opinion of the general public? What would he still have to achieve? Because listen, he might win another Premier League this season. If he stays, he might win another one next year. I think that if he wins this one, he's already caught up with Thierry Henry in terms of league titles. He'll have more goals. He might even now move above Frank Lampard, Sergio Aguero in the table, Andy Cole. I don't think he touches Harry Kane or Alan Shearer. Maybe he touches Harry Kane if he gets 3 more years. But my question to you and the people at home is, what more does this fella need to do to almost quiet the haters that say, how dare you compare Mo Salah to Henry? You can if you want, and we're not necessarily directly comparing them. But what we're saying is, the numbers are the numbers. The eye test is the eye test. What more does he need to do to be winning in both of those categories?
Probably win a Ballon d'Or, isn't it? If he wins one of them, then
Which Henry never did. He was robbed of one, though, I'll be honest. In 03-04, he should have won it. Pavel Nedved won it.
I think if he did that, it just gives more weight to his argument, doesn't it? But again, it's a subjectional. It's with the eyes or with the stats, and it's to say it's with the eyes or with the stats is not to take away from Mo Salah, because to watch him is a beautiful thing too. Like I said, watching that Man City goal was wonderful, mate. That was insane. He has got that tech in him, so I would never say that he can't dribble and he hasn't got technique, because he does, lad. He's also an elegant player. Just Thierry Henry. There's difference, and for me, I enjoyed watching him.
Apart from when he played us, he always had a good game against Liverpool.
Did he play for Liverpool? Oh my days. You know what I mean?
I mean, so you do remember that interview, don't you?
Go on.
When they said, what's one club you would have loved to have played for that you never played for?
Did he say that, yeah? Mad.
That's what he said.
Well, we got Mo Salah and they got Thierry.
Can you imagine for 1 second a Steven Gerrard Thierry Henry partnership?
Ridiculous. Imagine Steven Gerrard, Mo Salah, lad.
Yeah, of course. Imagine them all.
Lad, we've got Trent who's been doing it for years as well, lad, who's been pinging them Virgil, lad. This team's special.
We're spoiled.
Good.
But we were 6 months, we were 18 months away from a Gerrard Salah combo.
Mad.
Just wasn't to be. But anyway, listen, we'll move on. But my question to you, Doyle, is, and you've answered it already, he has to win a Ballon d'Or, another Prem. But for me, if he wins this Prem, which obviously we're all hoping he does, I think that does it. But you're always going to have the Gunners that say, how dare you even mention the two names in the same sentence? And I hear that because that's their guy. That's the best guy they've ever had. Right? But boy, I mean, Mo Salah and Steven Gerrard have now firmly confirmed themselves, and Virgil van Dijk, I would say, as the best 3 Premier League players in the Liverpool era. But I don't know, this is going to rumble on because he's going to start pulling away from Henry soon, Doyle. Towards the end of the season.
It will always remain subjectional. It's the old Ronaldo, Messi thing.
Yeah.
It just is.
But to even be in that conversation is wild. To have overtaken Thierry Henry, in my opinion, that is ridiculous.
I think that's what you're actually trying to say is, it's not that you think Thierry Henry, or that Mo Salah is better than Thierry Henry, but more the fact that he deserves to be in the conversation with Thierry Henry and the greats. And he does. He absolutely deserves to eat at the table of the greats in Premier League history, lad. And he will. Yeah. Because nobody, doesn't matter if you like him or not, can deny he's a great. Simple as that, lad. You can't deny it.
But I've gone past the point of being content with him being in the conversation. I think it's disrespectful now if that's all you're going to do with him. Now it's like, well, actually, let's deep dive into this and let's see. And again, what we can't do as well, Mo Salah hasn't retired, right? Thierry Henry stopped playing, 8 years ago, maybe 9 years ago. So let's, at the end of his career, I'm sure we'll do a direct comparison, because then it's square and leveled up. But Mo Salah's still got years ahead of him. So God knows where he'll be. That's what I worry about for Henry. That's what I do worry about with Henry, is that Salah will pull so far ahead that you actually, because at first they compared him to Hazard. He's brushed him away numbers wise. He's cleaned the floor with him. But at some point he will really start pulling away from Henry. And then it's down to people to say, well, what do you want? Do you want the goals, the assists, the trophies, the golden boots, or do you want what Henry had? Which is actually, Mo Salah's actually won more than what Henry had. So it's an age-old debate that will just carry on and on. But I wanted to bring it up today because not only is he now in the conversation, he's actually taken over Henry. And that's the reason I brought it up.